Y'all, I just, last night, Terry Crews, let me read the tweet. I need to read the tweet. I love how I cancel Say What Sunday, and then I'm like, hey, y'all, what? This is what Terry Crews has said. Defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Equality is the truth. Like it or not, we're all in this together. Terry, what? 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 What is that? Black supremacy? First of all, that sounds like a clothing brand off of Instagram. But also, what is black supremacy? Does that mean we're gonna start checking fades at the border? Does this mean that is this separation of churches and Popeyes? For every national holiday, is there gonna be a nationwide day party where everybody wear all white? What does this mean, Terry Crews? Terry, you've been sinking, sis. You've been sinking into the sunken place for a while. And we, what did Tyra say? We were rooting for you. We really were. We were like, oh no, Terry out here getting touched, y'all. Let's stand by him. And we did. Little did we know. You was on some bullshit. What the fuck does this even mean? So, I read his explanation, which is a fine explanation. However, why did you throw black supremacy in there? Just for some razzle dazzle, bitch? Black supremacy, that sounds like a Disney villain. That sounds like a clan from Twilight. What were they called? Excuse me. The Volturi? That's what this shit sounds like. We not KKK. We OKKK. I'm sorry. I was not saying black supremacy exists because it doesn't. I am saying if both black people, or if blacks and whites don't continue to work together, bad attitudes and resentments will create a dangerous self-righteousness. That's all. Makes sense. I agree. But the black supremacy thing, you just thought, you know how sometimes you be talking, right? And the words, or they're just flowing. Ooh, and it sounds so good. You be like throwing words in there like duality and, you know, the juxtaposition and ethos and, you know, furthermore. Like you just be throwing some words in there that got like a bunch of syllables in them and you get a little ahead of yourself. And you start putting words together that you don't really know if they actually go together or not. That's what this is giving me. I feel like Terry Crews thought like he was fucking some shit. I feel like he thought he was really doing something, with this tweet. And then you got dragged, girl. And yeah, I don't really know what else I wanted to say. I just read it and I read it last night. And I reread it just now, and it dawned on me how stupid it actually is. And so I just wanted to come on here and just talk about it. Terry Crews, girl, what the fuck? This is not it. This is not it. The thing about it is, like, I run past most of the things that I tweet, especially if they're political. I usually run it past somebody first. Usually. Because the thing is, as much as I want to voice my opinion, I don't want to say destructive things. And so I usually run it past someone like, hey, is this going to get me dragged? Hey, is this offensive to somebody that I may not be, you know, privy to right now? I've been running it past people. But Terry Crews, I don't think you're running it past enough people. Also, black supremacy, it sounds kind of cool to me. I don't know. I mean, clearly, you know, I'ma like it. But just black supremacy, that sounds like a boy band. That sounds like a rap, like a B2K in the 2020. Like that's what that sounds like. We are black supremacy. Who emailing me? I don't have time for that. And speaking of Terry Crews, while we're here, I don't know if you guys have watched a movie called John Henry on Netflix. Basically, the point of this movie was there was this ex-gang member who gets out of the gang shit and then he lives this like very peaceful life. He doesn't want to be violent. He doesn't want to hurt nobody. He don't raise his voice. He don't hurt a fly. That's his jam, right? And Terry Crews is playing this person, and his name is, he got like a weird like, oh, Henry. His name is John Henry because the movie's called John Henry. Duh. And so he plays John Henry. Ludacris is the villain in the movie, and Ludacris has this like gold plate thing on his jaw from something that happened in the past. But if you watch the movie, the makeup is trash on this prosthetic that he has on his chin. It looked like they held it together with old toothpaste. It's definitely giving dry toothpaste cap. My memory, because I watched this movie like, what, 2 weeks ago? And I wasn't even planning on talking about it. We was already talking about Terry Crews, and then it just reminded me of this awful movie. Oh my God, y'all. It was so bad. It was so bad. It was like they tried to fit 6 different styles, like 6 different styles of like black movies. Like it was basically like they tried to fit Empire. What's that show? Oh, what is that show with the dude with the chin? His face always like this. Power. There we go. It was like they tried to fit Empire, Power, fucking The Wire. It's like they just tried to fit a bunch of like black shows and formats into one movie. And girl, it was a shit show. It was a shit show. First of all, why is he in this gang? So his whole thing is this like mallet. He has this big mallet, and his whole shit is just like wrecking niggas with this mallet. And then Terry Crews is obviously fucking huge. And so just the visual of this giant man with this big ass mallet, and he rips his sleeves off and his muscles are showing, and I'm Terry Crews, look at the folds in my forehead. Like that's his whole thing. And so, but my understanding, or what I don't understand about it, wait a minute, is he was in a gang in maybe the late 80s. I'm just judging off of how old he's supposed to be in the movie. So it's looking like the late 80s, early 90s is when he is in this gang, right? He's supposed to be like a teenager, I guess, or maybe like in his early 20s. Why are you walking around with this Thor-ass weapon? First of all, it's inconvenient. You can't put that in your pocket. Second of all, how are you supposed to compete with bullets with a mallet? That's what I don't understand. It's just like, I get the optics, I get the visual, I get the vibe. It's like, big man, mallet, this is a moment. You know what I'm saying? It's very like Black Thor. I get it. But when you put it into the real world, into reality, and maybe it's a movie and so I shouldn't be doing that in the first place, but just when you are surrounded by niggas with guns, like the guns, they can still hit you. And I feel like you're not going to be faster. The bigger you are, the slower you are. If you big and fast, you should be in the NFL. Actually, no, don't do that. If you big and fast, I don't know. Basketball? LeBron? Big fast niggas? Basketball? Is that the sport that y'all would do? I don't know, man. I don't know sports. But yeah, it just didn't make sense to me, because it's like, if y'all are doing a drive-by, what you gonna get out and try and like, like that just doesn't make sense to me. And you just gonna drive by with a mallet out the window, like hanging. So you just gonna be hanging out the window like Beyonce, like with the. There's just certain things, the logistics. I'm not sure, but I just caught this in the corner of my eye. John Henry, and excuse my blackness, because I didn't know this. I don't know if this is real or not, because I'm reading this off of a Disney.fandom.com page. But this is what it says about John Henry. So John Henry, according to the legend, he was born with a hammer in his hand. He and some other freed slaves are building the railroad until a man with a machine comes along claiming the machine can drive more railroad spikes. When the driver burns up the contract in the machine's furnace, John stops the enraged workers from toppling the machine. Instead, he makes the driver a wager. If John beats the machine in constructing the railroad by sundown, the promised land would be given to the workers. He wields 2 sledgehammer, not a mallet, sledgehammer. He wields 2 sledgehammers to do double the work. They end up tunneling through a mountain. John prevails, but he suddenly collapses from experiencing too much pressure while racing the steam drill. Okay. As Polly rushes to husband, she hands John his sledgehammer just as he lets out his last breath. Thus, John died with a hammer in his hand, just like he vowed, but his legacy continued to live on. So that's... Is this a real thing? I guess this was a real movie? Okay. John Henry had nothing to do with that. John Henry was in his house wearing his flannels, talking to his daddy. And his daddy is a Spanish-speaking, older fuckboy. And he's also the same dad from Kenan and Kel, randomly. But, yeah, John Henry was garbage. I suggest you watch it, though, because it was a ride. It was definitely a ride. Oh, the transitions, it was giving PowerPoint. It was definitely giving PowerPoint. But... yeah, man, let me know your thoughts if you've seen John Henry. This wasn't even supposed to happen, and this wasn't even really a full-out movie review or anything. But if I had to give it a rating out of 1 out of 10 sweatpants, I would have to give it 3 sweatpants, y'all. It was bad. It was bad. It was like freshman year film student bad. So, and also, Terry Crews, stop. Just delete your Twitter, bruh. Just delete your Twitter. Or just throw it out of a moving car, whichever one is easiest for you.